Good evening. This is CTV News for Friday, October 18th. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger. Glad to have you with us tonight. 25-year-old Kenneth Mitchell of the district pleads guilty today to felony theft. Mitchell was a passenger in a car being pursued by Prince George's police officer Adrian Morris. You may recall Morris was killed after his cruiser went off the road. CTV's Sonia Srivastava has more from Upper Marlboro.
Well, Kenneth Mitchell has been in jail for the last 14 months. He was arrested a week after Officer Adrian Morris's death, and today he pleaded guilty to felony theft, and the judge essentially took into account those 14 months that he has already served. 25-year-old Kenneth Mitchell, seen here, was arrested and charged with felony theft in August 2012. Officials say he was a passenger in a car that was driven by 24-year-old Kevon Neal. The two men allegedly stole the vehicle from a gas station in Laurel. Officers were called out, and as they started to interview witnesses, a clerk noticed that the vehicle had returned. Officer Adrian Morris began chasing the car and followed the suspects to I-95. Morris lost control of his cruiser, struck a guardrail, and was ejected from his vehicle and died.
We believed from the start that Mitchell was a passenger in the vehicle, and despite the tragic outcome, he really did not have any control over the vehicle and the fact that a pursuit happened. We really wanted to get him on the fact that he was arrested with this vehicle in his possession, and that's really the crime that he committed. So we're pleased that he accepted this deal and admitted his responsibility.
Now, Kevon Neal's trial is expected to start in January. He faces multiple charges, including manslaughter. In Upper Marlboro, I'm Sonia Srivastava for CTV News.
Prosecutors tell us that Mitchell also has outstanding warrants in Montgomery County.
Closing arguments began this morning, and the case is now in the hands of the jury in the second trial of Bowie resident 52-year-old Michael Brochu. This time he faces 21 counts of child abuse. Prosecutors say Brochu molested multiple boys between the ages of 6 and 11 at several locations, including a community pool and the attic of his home. You may recall in June that Brochu was convicted of multiple sex offenses and sentenced to 41 years in prison in a separate case. Once the verdict comes back, he will face a third trial on charges involving another child.
A man is rushed to the hospital in serious condition after being shot early this morning. It happened around 1:30 a.m. in the 4800 block of Parkmont Lane in Upper Marlboro. When officers arrived, they found the victim suffering from a gunshot wound. He remains in the hospital while police investigate the case to try and figure out who shot him and why.
A jury finds a Baltimore police instructor guilty of reckless endangerment for shooting and critically wounding a recruit during a training exercise. William Kern was found not guilty of the more serious charge of second-degree assault. In February, Kern fired his loaded service gun at the University of Maryland police recruit during a training exercise that he was leading. The veteran instructor thought he was holding a simulated pistol that fires paintball-like cartridges. Baltimore police say commanders were not aware of the exercises, and the city did not have permission to use the Owings Mills facility for training. Kern faces up to 5 years in prison. Well, a car fire on the Baltimore-Washington Parkway made the commute home a bit of a nightmare for drivers. You can see cars creeping along near the Powder Mill Road exit where the incident took place. A spokesman with the fire department says they are still looking into what caused the car to go up in flames. The vehicle was towed away, and no word yet on the status of the driver. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger.